Hi there. Welcome back. Welcome back to this episode of Coffee and Tea with Justin and Tashina, the only show that is officially endorsed by Kermit the Frog.
Whoa. That's a pretty big thing.
Yeah,
wow.
I just thought I'd start making random things up.
I like that one. I like that that's where you started.
Yeah.
Kermit the Frog. You just went right for it.
I was going to say
Not
Steven
Fozzie
Seagal.
Bear. Oh, Kermit the Frog's better.
Than Steven Seagal?
Yeah, I mean, they're very different people.
Yeah, one.
They're both action stars, but, slightly different vibe to each of them.
Wow.
Did you see the movie they did together, actually?
Are you being serious?
No.
Because I wouldn't be surprised if Steven Seagal was in a Muppet movie at some point.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. In my mind, it's an action thriller it's basically about speed. It's like the movie Speed, but with semi trucks, and they're on the outside of them doing karate matches.
I think you're thinking of Jean-Claude Van Damme, not Steven Seagal.
I know the difference between those two.
No, but do you remember that commercial
Yeah.
where Jean-Claude Van Damme does the splits?
Yeah.
On the semis?
Yep.
They're going in reverse.
While wearing his Chuck Norris jeans.
Was he wearing Chuck Norris
No.
jeans? Oh. Well, you're making me... It's sounding like you don't actually know what I'm talking
Chuck
about.
Norris action jeans. No, I know what you're talking about. The commercial with the two semis driving next to each other, and Jean-Claude Van Damme has one leg on each.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh.
I know.
Okay. All right.
Anyway. So.
We talked about a lot of stuff today.
Yeah, we did.
Random stuff.
As always.
Yeah.
We talked about where we might be moving to.
Yeah.
Loosely.
Yeah, don't worry. It's not a whole thing like it normally is.
No. We talked about what else? Having guests on the podcast.
Yeah, we did. We talked about the future of this show.
Mm-hmm. Fermented things.
Fermented things. We talked about a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that.
Sounds good.
There's so much random stuff in here. We talked about wine. We talked about random stuff.
Yeah.
I was thinking about what I'm grateful for, but I want to hear what you're grateful for.
I am grateful that despite everything that's going on, we're still in this position to have hope for the future and to be planning for the future. That's something I'm grateful for, that is whether that means I'm grateful for possibilities or I'm grateful for the optimism, I'm not really sure, but I'm just grateful for that as a concept.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you?
I am really, really grateful for us having gone on a walk yesterday.
Yeah, that was nice. We walked through a different neighborhood than normal.
Yeah, it was really nice to just get out, get some fresh air, go for a walk, walk through a neighborhood that had some cute little houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, grateful for that.
Nice.
Also really grateful for everybody that I'm kind of always, I think, in a state of gratitude for the people that follow Logical Harmony and support that channel and support this channel. But lately, as I've been trying to get our taxes figured out, I've been just kind of looking at those numbers and just feeling even more grateful that people support us and allow us to do what we do and help animals.
Yeah, completely.
And also do fun side projects like this. It's really nice.
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean, not thank you to you. Thank you to them.
Oh.
Thank you for sharing what you're grateful for, but thank you to them.
Well, I think this is a perfect time to jump into the episode. Got a few updates for you.
Oh, yeah? What are they?
Well, my kombucha seems to be doing pretty well.
Good.
I started a second fermentation that's just kombucha, which is okay. It's been in the second fermentation for maybe 4 days, so I'm not super inspired by its taste, so I'm probably going to add some frozen fruit into it today.
Okay, so it's just the second fermentation of the actual kombucha. You didn't add anything yet?
Correctamundo.
Okay.
I didn't even add sugar, which normally I would at least add a little bit of fresh tea and a little bit more sugar.
Yeah.
And I didn't even do that. So I'm not super surprised that it is in the state that it's in.
Okay.
And then I have one going that I started yesterday that's a nice huge thing of like, it's like deep, like black cherry. Like I literally just took a bag of frozen cherries and let it kind of defrost, or and then like muddled it.
Nice.
With my really cool wooden I think
tamper?
it's olive wood. Yeah, the tamper that I got for making sauerkraut.
Yeah.
So I like really just smashed that and then put that in. So I didn't add any sugar or any fresh tea or anything, but the sugar from the cherries and the cherry juice should be enough.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah.
That's exciting. You've never made a cherry one.
No, I don't think I have. And then the other day, I made that pineapple one, which was extremely good.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, all I did was take some of my main kombucha and put it into a I think it was an applesauce jar. Maybe it was a pickle jar. Anyway.
Not a jar owned by applesauce, but a jar that formerly had stored applesauce. The food.
Not the cat. Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, so I just threw some frozen pineapple into that puppy.
Nice.
Let it sit on the counter for like a day or two and then threw it in the fridge for another day or two. And it was so good.
Yeah, it was really good.
I don't know why I've never thought to make pineapple kombucha before, because I've made pineapple soda, like a fermented pineapple soda, and I've loved it.
Yeah.
This was just next level deliciosity.
Yeah, it was really good. I liked it a lot.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I think, too, it's kind of what's fun right now is like because you're trying to use, I assume, just what we have in the freezer. And it's definitely fruits that you've typically not used before.
Well, I did buy everything we have in the freezer with the intent of doing kombucha from it. So
okay.
I appreciate you making me sound more exciting and like inventive, but it was a plan.
Okay. I didn't know it was a plan.
Yeah, I bought it with the intent of doing that. But that said though, I mean, I kind of did come up with these flavor combinations randomly because I don't know that I've ever even had cherry kombucha. I think the closest thing to a cherry kombucha I've ever had is that Mama Chia. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That cherry lime chia seed
That one's
drink.
so good. We have lime.
We sure do. Well, maybe when this is done, I'll throw some lime in there. And we also have chia seeds.
Yeah, we do.
We should just go buck wild.
Might be worth trying and just see how it turns out.
Yeah.
Why not, you know?
Why not?
Why not?
You know?
You know?
My sourdough starter's also doing very well.
Yeah? Nice.
Yeah, I had just sort of stopped caring for it a couple days ago. And then I threw some fresh, I fed it, threw some fresh flour and some water just to see what would happen, if it would revive or if it was going to stay kind of gross looking. And a day or two later, it's looking good to go.
Good.
I do realize now, though, that we don't have enough flour to actually make anything from it.
No, we don't.
Yeah. So
maybe...
Well, I'll probably just throw it in the fridge.
Yeah. I was going to say, too, maybe there's some maybe there's some things we can make that use less flour than a loaf of bread, like maybe biscuits or pancakes, or like maybe there's something we could do.
Sourdough pancakes would be delicious.
Yeah, because we don't have much flour left. So
yeah,
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, worst case scenario, throw it in the fridge. Slow down the souring process.
Nice.
It'll be fine either way.
Yeah, it will be.
And then the last update I wanted to give people is an update on where we're thinking about moving.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, are we not saying yet?
Yeah, we're not saying because we're still doing a general looky-loo around.
Okay. I forgot that there was a reason we hadn't mentioned it before.
Yeah, we're just kind of looking all over.
We are, but there's also a city and a state that I think is actually going to be the one. And I know I said that about every single city and every single state. However, this one looks like it might actually be the one.
Yeah, I think there are definitely a lot of possibilities in this one. We're seeing way more homes in our price range that are cute and that we feel excited about and that aren't complete fixer-uppers. Like a lot of them, we would definitely want to make some adjustments, but a lot of them, it seems like we could move in as they are and figure things out from there.
Yeah, as opposed to like some of the houses we were looking at in like Pittsburgh where it's like $10,000, but the house is, everything is ripped out on the inside. It's just bare bones.
Yeah. So we're still getting an idea. We're looking at a lot of different areas and just trying to figure out like what's important to us, which I think we're on the same page about, like what we want.
Yeah.
So that's good. It definitely simplifies things.
I think one of the biggest things, the biggest positive things for me to come out of this has been realizing that we might actually be able to, or that we probably could afford a home.
Yeah. Same.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Because I was feeling really discouraged after we moved here to Salt Lake and seeing housing prices here and feeling like what we can afford is not anything I want. It's not somewhere I would want to live or feel excited about.
Yeah, I mean, out here in not even just Salt Lake, but just in Utah in general, like the places that are anywhere even remotely close to what we could afford are just mobile homes.
Not even that sometimes.
Yeah, that's why I said the places that are even remotely close.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's fair. But yeah, so it was like really discouraging because I was feeling like, man, this is just not something that's going to ever be a possibility for us anywhere.
Yeah.
And then as we've expanded and really just looking in way more areas, we're finding that actually there's a lot of the country that we could afford a house in, and that would be a house that we want and we are excited about and like inspired by.
That it's a lot. I would say there's like so far like 2 or 3 states that like, oh.
It's more than I was expecting though, and I think it's a good chunk of the country.
Yeah, I would agree with that. More and better quality.
Yeah, totally.
Like at our price range, especially, both of us coming from California and or Oregon, it's, you wouldn't think there are houses that even exist. I mean, you would think houses exist, but you would think that they'd be like most of what we've seen, which is just falling apart or in really violent neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Or,
and it's making me realize how incredibly overpriced California especially is. Oregon as well, but yeah.
Well,
anyway.
They have their benefits.
That's true. They're on the beach.
Okay. I was going to say like the people and the politics.
Yeah, that's true. That's true too.
Now that we've been out of California for a year, and I lived in Hawaii, but I mean, I wasn't really paying attention to local politics in Hawaii, and honestly, I don't know what, but I can't imagine that from my friends that do still live out there that I stay in touch with, it doesn't seem like
the most progressive.
No, it doesn't seem like the most conservative.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, my point is just that I'm living outside of California for a year now and just realizing, wow, it really is one of those things where when you're there, you think, oh, this is what the rest of the world is like. And there are these tiny little pockets of weird people. And then you leave and you're like, oh.
I was in a pocket.
I was in a pocket. No wonder people from other countries feel the way they do about the U.S. Now I get it because the California is not representative of the rest of the country.
Yeah. Well, and even so much of California is not.
True.
That's the way with Oregon. Like you have the Willamette Valley and then you have the rest of Oregon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's very different. And I think California is the same way.
That's true. I definitely grew up seeing people drive trucks with Confederate flags.
Yeah.
And hearing a lot of racist comments.
Yeah. I'd never seen a Confederate flag in real life until California.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where'd you see it?
In Napa, on someone's house.
Was I there?
Yeah, we were driving and it was near the 7-Eleven that's on Main Street, and there was like a house on a side road that had a Confederate flag.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, like that was the first time I'd ever seen one outside of like a museum or like,
Yeah, I know the house you're talking about.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
So.
Weird stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited that we've expanded our search area and that we're focusing on finding a house we're excited about.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So there's a little update tease, I guess, not an actual update.
Yeah, because it's still going to take time.
We're narrowing it down.
We're narrowing it down, yeah.
And also, with everything that's going on, it's so hard to know where the market's going to be.
Yeah.
It's so hard to know where we are going to be financially.
Yeah.
I think it's one thing that I think Tashina and I haven't talked about on this channel, at least, is that with a lot of what we do, we get paid 30 days out. And then with a lot of what we do, we also get paid 30 days after the return window is closed. Mm-hmm. So, like, if you use one of Logical Harmony affiliate links, first of all, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
What happens is once the return window has closed, then we get like the payment, but we don't actually receive the payment until another 30 days.
Yeah.
So it could be 60 days after the product is purchased that we get our affiliate commission. And then during the holiday season, because so many retailers extend their return windows, there might be something, I mean, not might be, there's something that was purchased in late November or sometime in December, and we are just now starting to get paid for those purchases. Yeah. So again, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's amazing. I guess what I'm trying to say is it makes it so that we're not, it's like this weird offset thing because the financial impact that it's having on so many people also happens to be happening during the time when we start getting paid for things from the holiday season of 2019.
Yeah.
And so it's this weird, like, we don't know what the actual impact is because it's going to be another 90 days before what's happening today starts to actually hit us financially. So it'll be an interesting thing to see where we are.
It will be for sure. And like, that's the thing with affiliate stuff. So I knew obviously about the delays and everything, but I found out yesterday, Nordstrom affiliate sales, you get paid out 7 months after the return window closes. Wow. 7 months. So people were saying, because there was discussion in this affiliate group, I mean, if they're like, all my holiday Nordstrom stuff still, like, I'm not getting paid for it yet. Are you guys, is this a problem? What's going on? And someone was like, oh yeah, because of their return policy plus their closing window, you're not going to get paid for those till like September.
Wow.
So it's all about the long game.
I mean, that's almost a year out.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all about the long term with affiliate. None of it is stuff you do to make money now. Any affiliate sales, you're making money, 30, 60, 90, 7 months later.
Even if you make the sale immediately.
Yeah, even if you make the sale immediately. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So it's very interesting. It fluctuates constantly. It's part of why putting out content consistently is helpful. That's why it's not why we put out content consistently, but like, because you're doing the work now. It's like any contract job, which is all sponsored content is contract also, where it's like you do it and you're not getting paid anytime soon. It's, you do. Ooh. You okay? Did I not mix it very well?
The bottom of that was just straight up maple syrup. I mean, it was delicious, but I was not prepared for that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like every contract has different terms. So even when you do sponsored stuff, you'll get paid 30 days later, 60 days later, 90 days later. Like it's always later and it's always fluctuating and it's a very fluid thing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what's going on. Yeah. I'm curious too what it will mean as far as long-term online sales, because I think now so many retailers are doing so many extra sales online. Yeah. But I also think consumers are becoming more comfortable buying stuff online that previously they might not have bought online.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious how it's going to shift just consumer habits over time. I'm curious how many brands that have storefronts are going to scale back storefronts, not just because they're not making money, but because of realizing we don't necessarily need the storefronts to make money.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw... So I find... Let me just preface what I'm about to say by... I didn't read the article. I only read the headline.
Okay.
And I will also say that it seems like when rich people are being discussed right now, they're being discussed in a way that's basically like you just read a headline. Mm-hmm. So, for example, there was one thing where people were saying, "Oh, this person's net worth is this much money. That means they could give, blah 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 X dollars away, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, this sounds like if you're saying they could give this much away and still have this much left over, it's like, oh, well, you don't know what net worth means, obviously." Because that's not how it works. Like, you could have, like, for example, somebody like my grandpa, who owns multiple properties around the Napa Valley.
Yeah.
His net worth is very different than his liquid cash flow, right?
Yeah, completely.
And I think people don't. So, just for context. Anyway, so the headline that I saw said something like, Jeff Bezos has increased his wealth by like $24 billion so far in the pandemic, which again, I don't know where that number came from, how they calculated it. Regardless, I'm sure it's still a lot of money.
Yeah.
And where was I going with that? Oh, right. So just to your point, yeah, I think it's incredibly clear that people are, obviously, for necessity, buying way more stuff online than they ever have before. And yeah, like you said, it'll be fascinating to see what things people continue to buy online and what things they don't. Because I think for us, as people who have used like Grove and services like that for so long, there's so many things that we haven't bought at the store for years. Things like home cleaning products,
laundry soap,
even like aprons, like
candles.
I would say primarily, honestly, our shopping for the last couple of years has been primarily online.
Yeah.
With the exception of groceries.
Yeah, I would fully agree. I worked retail for a long time, and it's not that I dislike shopping in stores, but I also do. Because I feel like in a lot of stores, it's just not the same experience. I'm a very decisive shopper, especially like I like to like get in, get out. I know what I need. I know what I want. I'm going to pick what I want. I don't like being sold to. I don't like
been
upselled.
In a Sephora with you and an Ulta with you, I would.
So I'd like to browse in those because I can see shades in real life that I don't see online.
Yeah, I'm just teasing.
But I also hate going into Sephora and Ulta because there are people trying to upsell me. And I feel like Ron Swanson in that episode where he's at Home Depot and the person walks up and goes, "I know more than you." Not saying that I know more than all of them, but sometimes I'm when I do talk and ask for recommendations, I'm genuinely confused by the recommendations that I get.
A lot of times you'll be like, "Oh, well, I'm looking for cruelty-free this." And they'll be like, "Oh, you should check out this brand. They're great. They're cruelty-free." And you're like,
they straight up test on animals.
They're not.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think for us, it's like so much of what we already were doing was shopping online.
Yeah.
Aside from groceries, like you said, because I like to pick, I'm selective. I like my bananas at this very specific point of ripeness, things like that, where it's, it's different, but I have a much larger personal space bubble than a lot of people to begin with.
Yeah.
And I think that this is going to extend that for myself, but I think it's also going to change a lot of people's own comfort levels and personal space bubbles and things like that. And so I'm curious how that'll impact it. Like, oh, go ahead.
No.
Well, I was going to say frequently, like there are stores I love going into a Lush. I love the experience. I love looking at things. I love playing with things. I love talking to the staff and hearing what they know about stuff. Because I would say too, like I definitely know more than the average Lush customer, but I love the experience of being in there. But frequently, even in stores that I love, there are too many people to where it's like, it's mentally very overwhelming for me to be around that many people physically. So I'm like, I can't do this. I have to leave. And I wonder if that's how other people are going to feel after all of this. I even feel that way a lot in restaurants or grocery stores too, though. Like, I'm like, you're too close to me. I can't focus on what I'm doing because you're in my space.
Yeah, it definitely, from what I've seen, I think it's maybe because you're a woman and because you're small, it definitely seems like people just get closer to you
People
in
get
public.
so close to me in public. I hate it. Yeah. People will be like we're in the grocery store, obviously not recently, but like I'll be in the grocery store looking at like.
Been to a grocery store in over a month.
Yeah. Like, let's say I'm like, oh, I'm going to pick up this thing of parsley. And suddenly there's someone right there and they're like inches from me and they're not even getting parsley. They're getting the thing in the next thing over. Stand it several feet away from me. You do not need to be so close to me. Yeah, I think because I'm small, people think I don't need space and it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Or they want to put me in the smallest space. Like, oh, we're at this restaurant. Here's this tiny little child-sized seat. You can sit there. I'm like, I enjoy, my legs are long. I enjoy space too. Like, I'm not child-size.
Well,
I am the average height for the American woman, just so we're clear.
are you though?
I am. The average height for an American woman is 5'4". I'm 5'4". I'm not child size.
Is it possible that the average height for an American woman is also the average height?
Is it possible that the average height for the American male is also the average height of a young adult American male? Yes,
No,
it's possible.
Well, I'm also above the average, I think, so.
I'm just saying. But yeah, basically where I was going
You
is
deserve space.
I deserve space.
Although I will say, as someone who shares a bed with you, I think that it is also fair to say that we could have the same amount of space in relation to the size of our bodies. Right? Like, if you and I have the same amount of space, you have way more space for your body than I do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's why our bed should not be divided down the middle and instead should be more of like a 30-70 split.
Well, usually it's divided at some random point by a cat.
True.
Juniper will come and lay completely like horizontal on the bed, stretched out. Anyway, I'm just curious if after this, more people are going to want more personal space. I think they will.
My guess is yeah.
Yeah.
Like I will be, or rather, I won't be surprised if a lot of people don't go out to eat as much.
Yeah, same.
For example, because I feel like it's something that probably a lot of us have thought, oh, I should really cut back on that and save some money.
Or learn how to cook more, like learn how to cook more things.
Absolutely. And then you're kind of pushed into that. And so it'll be fascinating to see how it changes things.
I'm super curious. There was something else I was going to bring up.
Okay.
But I don't remember, so we can move on. Oh, yeah. It was that tweet I saw from someone in the Bay Area about going to Walmart to get groceries.
Go ahead. What?
Okay.
I didn't say anything.
So their tweet was basically saying it felt really crowded and felt like Black Friday to them. And they were like, but was it actually crowded or have I just changed how I feel? And I thought that was an interesting perspective so soon.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I mean, so soon, but also it's like for people who don't normally work from home.
Yeah.
It's a huge shift. Like when we were talking about Jake the other day, I was just thinking about people who commute into their offices in New York every day. You're around hundreds, if not thousands of people every single day, complete strangers, super, super close to each other. Like I remember when I was in Japan for Ricky's wedding, there were times when I was on the train and it literally felt like my feet were barely touching the ground. Like that's how tightly packed into these trains we were, for the morning commute. And, or during, I wasn't commuting obviously, but
during morning commute times.
Right. So yeah, I think it's probably such a huge shift that every day feels like a way longer period of time.
Yeah,
and then
probably.
Like we were discussing yesterday on our walk, I was just thinking, like at first, maybe the first week, I was like, wow. Maybe first 2 weeks, I was like, wow, this is crazy. I'm realizing how much I need to socialize with people and how I really need to be out, hanging out with people and be around people. And then now I'm just like, meh.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I miss my friends. Obviously, I want to hang out with people. I think that's going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that maybe that'll be one thing that really comes out of this that'll be positive, is that people will do a lot more of the stuff like dinner parties and having people over. Like, what we did this year made me so happy this year what month was that? It was like November. December.
Oh, yeah, where we had, it wasn't like a Friendsgiving, but it was sort of like a loose one. It was November.
Yeah, for only having moved here. We had moved here in March.
Yeah.
And then it was November, the following November. Mm-hmm. And we had like 15 people over.
Yeah.
And we had all these all the food that I grew up eating on special occasions, beans and rice and tamales. And it was just like so special to have all these people over in our place. And so I really hope that's something that comes out of this.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'll be like more intentional and more appreciated when you do spend time with people.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that when we do move, obviously that's going to be one of the hardest things. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, since we've moved here, we've only done one thing like that.
Yeah.
And so Mike has come and visited us twice.
Yeah. My parents have both visited.
Your parents have both visited. Yeah, that's been amazing and super fun.
Yeah.
Other than that, not a single friend has come and visited.
No, it just...
A ton of them had said they would and then didn't.
Yeah.
And my parents haven't come out here at all. Mm-mm. And we've only been back to California once. And so I think the reality has set in of like, oh, I guess we don't need to be this close to a major airport because no one's coming to see us.
And we don't go places as often as we thought we would.
Right. And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like, like my dad coming out here a few times this year was really nice. My mom and her boyfriend being here for Christmas was really nice. Yeah. It was the first Christmas I've had with my mom in like, I don't know, like since I moved out of Oregon, like a long time.
Yeah.
So that was really nice. And to, similar to what you were saying, like we kind of did a lot of our traditional stuff that we hadn't done in forever.
Yeah. Starting new traditions was fun.
Yeah. It was really nice. I think this was a good growth year for us, not just as individuals, but like for us.
I feel like it's been downhill in 2020. I feel like I haven't been putting enough effort into our relationship in the last couple months.
Well, it's early in the year.
That's true.
Yeah. I'm not saying yeah to that. I'm just saying
Strongly agree.
But yeah, I think 2020 has been a weird year. It's been an adjustment year, I think, in a lot of ways, and a lot of variety of ways and areas. So I don't know.
Okay, so are you cool with shifting gears a little bit?
Sure.
Did I just say are you ghoul?
I heard cool, but
okay,
maybe
good.
I just knew what you meant to say, so my mind auto-corrected it.
Yeah, grarp.
Grarp?
Yeah, grarp.
I like to, sorry, side note, Bagheera is sleeping literally touching the front door, and I like that that's one of his favorite spots. He's like protecting the house.
I like it in that it's cute, but I don't like it in that it's disgusting to me because we take our shoes off at the front door.
Yeah.
So that mat is the only part of the house where like all the outside floor germs come into the inside, and then he just lays all up in there. That. Just, ugh, it's so gross.
It is gross.
Germs, am I right?
Mm-hmm. The worst. All right, so shifting gears.
Yeah.
Did you have something else you wanted to talk about?
I did.
Okay, go for it.
No.
Oh, all right.
Just kidding.
Well, in that case.
We talked about having guests on more often.
Yeah, we did.
So one of the things Tashina and I have been kind of struggling with in this podcast is coming up with things to talk about, which you would think in a podcast where the premise is that we talk about whatever the flip we want. you would think that
Mother flipping game board. Sorry.
Flipping game board.
Okay.
Tell us if you got that reference.
Yes.
But you don't just say, I got the reference. Tell us what it is. We want to know. Also, somebody got the hey, listen.
What is that from? I know you've told me, but I don't remember.
It's from a Zelda game. The Ocarina of Time.
To me, when you do it, it makes me think of Mickey Mouse.
I could see that. No.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a little like fairy, and her name is Navi. She helps you navigate the world.
The navigational fairy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like to give you a hint or something, or like if there's something important she needs you to pay attention to, she goes, "Hey, listen."
That's pretty funny.
So cute. Mm-hmm. You know who does the best Navi impression?
Who? Bagheera?
No.
Who? Mike?
Nope.
Tell me. Cam?
Mm-mm.
Who?
It's a woman that lives in Napa.
Your mom?
All right.
I don't know. You gotta give me more than that.
It's fine. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
All right. So guess. Right. So Tashina and I have both kind of been like, oh, this is surprisingly getting difficult.
Yeah, when you're not leaving the house, it's hard to have stuff to talk about all the time.
Yeah, nothing's really happening.
No. Go ahead.
Well, especially because the whole premise of this podcast is to not talk about the really like heavy negative stuff in the news.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's all this other news and all these other things happening that are just like completely unrelated that we can dive into.
Yeah. And I've been trying really hard to find like positive, happy news stories, which one requires sifting through all that really heavy stuff, which is taxing mentally and emotionally. Mm-hmm. But two, there's just not as much getting coverage. What's getting coverage is like all the horrible things, which is the news. Which is the news. And it's good to have coverage of what's going on. But I'm saying like outside of stuff with the virus, a lot of what's being covered is just like
poop.
Yeah. You're just like, man. So it's been a challenge to find positive, uplifting things to talk about aside from Guy playing Animal Crossing, which I still enjoy that idea. But I can't visit his island. I'm playing Pocket Camp.
You're playing the poor people version.
Yeah, I'm playing the free version.
The pheasants version.
Yep.
Hello,
anyway.
Pheasants. I'm relatable. Anyway, so we're thinking part of this is something we've been kind of discussing for a while. Mm-hmm. But I felt really inspired when we talked with Jake, the producer, the other day. Mm-hmm. And he was not our producer. That's his Instagram handle. It's Jake, the producer.
Yep.
I am our producer.
Yeah.
Justin, the producer.
With the help of Juniper.
No. I don't know. Sometimes Juniper is helpful. Like she comes and cuddles in my lap. But lately she's just been, I feel like Junie's been grumpy for like 3 weeks.
She has been grumpy. Yeah.
Like what is her deal? Why is she such a grumposaurus?
I don't know. I think the cats are all like mood wise. Even though we worked from home before, we still like we went out and we did stuff. Like it felt like we were gone more. And I think they had adjusted to that.
We were not gone that much.
No, not that much, but more than we are now. And maybe so I think
a couple hours twice a week.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I think maybe there's been some tough adjustments for them in this period too.
I think it's more our sleep schedules.
Well, our sleep schedules, but I was going to say, I think all the aftershocks don't help either.
No, they sure don't.
So like, we had a couple 4.2 aftershocks like 2 days in a row. And then now I'm noticing applesauce, like when the people upstairs walk around, she's like looking like, do I need to run?
Bolting under the bed, or she's looking around like, oh God, what's going to happen?
So I think they're feeling a lot more stressed a lot of the time. True. And they're probably feeling a lot of the aftershocks that we're not.
True.
So I think that's more of what it is.
True.
Those variety of things.
Okay.
So Juniper is not really helpful. She's very grumpy. She's not the best office cubicle mate. She doesn't want to take her coffee break at the right time.
Yeah. So, yep. About Juniper. And I was inspired by him telling the story of someone who's doing like trying to meet with 10,000 people.
Yeah.
One a day.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, what if we do like a 30-day thing? Because now I think this is like episode 34 or 33. It's somewhere in the 30s.
It's been going.
This episode. Yeah. Which is pretty great. Mm-hmm. So I just thought, what if we do...
know.
I know. That's what happened when I dropped the microphone or whatever. Or I was putting a bottle of vermouth in the cabinet. Okay.
Sorry.
Come on. Reel it in.
Sorry.
Tashina's getting distracted with the chips out of this table. A couple weeks ago, I had a bottle of vermouth and I was like moving it toward putting it in this cupboard. And as I was moving it downward, the bottle, like the bottom of the bottle went bam right on the corner and took out a chip.
Yeah. Sorry. I'll pay attention.
Thank you. I like, though, that I told you not to get distracted by it and then proceeded to tell the whole story of how it happened.
Yeah.
Great job, me. I feel like this is a really drawn out, long thing now that didn't need to be, which is, I'm just trying to say that we're planning on trying to get 30 different people to come on here for like a 30-day sprint where we chat with someone every day for 30 days.
Yeah.
And it will, I mean, I'm assuming we're just going to start with people that we kind of already know.
Yeah, for sure.
Friends, family. Luckily, because of Logical Harmony, we know a handful of people in the beauty space. So, yeah.
I think it'd be good.
Yep.
I think it'll be fun.
You'll be good.
I think thank you. I think it'll be good to hear like other people's perspectives on how they're handling things, what they're doing to stay positive and motivated, things like that.
Truth bombs.
And to just hear about how they're adapting. So a lot of people are working from home in jobs similar to Jake where they're not used to it at all.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of challenges that come with it. And so I think that'll be interesting to hear about.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it'll be good. I'm excited for it.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me really happy. Who do you think some guests are that you'll want to get on that people might be familiar with so they can get excited? Like, who are some people you plan on asking?
Well, 2 of them we've already asked, or one of them, I should say. But the people from Necromancy Cosmetica who are in Puerto Rico. And we've talked about them a lot on the Logical Harmony channel and what makes them unique and special. But they've been putting out a lot of content on their channels right now, too, because I think they're trying to do something similar in a way of like they need this positive, productive thing. I think it'd be great to get Ashley from Au Naturel because she's a really amazing person, but she has such a very unique take on the beauty space, I would say, because of her background.
True.
She's just a great person to talk to. Like, she's so sweet. She's such an amazing person, but like industry wise too, what they're doing as a company is so unique and her vision is so unique. And I love that.
Yeah.
I think I just made a smacking noise. Just some of the other people that are from small brands and to hear about how they're adapting, how they're rolling with things. Stuff like that, I think, will be very interesting, beauty or not. Yeah. It'd be good to finally get my mom on here to talk about gardening.
Heck yeah, it would.
Gardening, canning, preserving, all those sorts of things. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
What about you?
What about me? Honestly, I had put more thought into the people that you were going to ask. I hadn't really put a lot of thought into who I was going to ask.
Oh.
But I was thinking maybe we'll save the Jake the Producer episode because it hasn't gone live.
No, it hasn't.
Maybe we'll put that up.
Okay.
Trying to get my brother to be on, who he says he will be, but...
He has a baby, so I feel like that all bets are off when you have a baby at home.
Yeah. Especially because my parents aren't allowed to go help with the baby. His wife is now also working from home, so I think he's dealing with a lot of changing circumstances currently. What else? Who else? I don't know that a lot of the people are people that people listening would know.
Yeah, same. Oh, that reminds me of something really cool that I saw.
Lay it on me.
So St. Clair Brown.
Yep. Ooh, Hardy. I want to try to get Hardy.
Hardy would be fun.
Yeah.
So St. Clair Brown, like our favorite winery brewery in Napa, which does do online shipping if you live outside of Utah and states where you can ship alcohol to.
Can't wait till we move out of Utah.
Yeah. They're doing a thing for wine club members. And I'm assuming beer club members too, where you can get a box that has in like a couple bottles of wine and then some of their ingredients from their garden for a recipe to pair with the wine and the recipe.
Yeah.
And I thought that was amazing because in their garden they have like different herbs and lemons and things like that. And so I thought that was such a cute thing that they're doing that's different.
I think it's really cute too. I
Yeah.
don't know that any of the recipes are vegan.
No, but I think you could veganize them.
Yeah.
But I just thought the concept was cute. And I'm seeing a lot of people
Yeah.
post about like not just wine deliveries, but CSA boxes and ways to support small local businesses trying to do that type of thing. And
Yeah.
they're a great one if you're looking to order wine or beer online.
Yeah. And the thing about St. Clair Brown too is that they have a garden. So it's not like
Yeah.
they're going to Safeway and buying all these ingredients and then you're buying them
yeah.
from them. It's ingredients that come from their garden.
Yeah,
and
which is
then
their
you
tasting room.
Yeah. And then you use whatever other stuff is required for the recipe.
Yeah. Because one thing I've always loved about them is they do have like small plates if you're there, and it's all stuff that's either from the garden as much as possible or it's from like the local farmer's market or a local bakery. Like it's, yeah. Anyway, I just loved that they were doing that.
Yeah, me
and
too.
wanted to throw in a plug in case there are people listening who maybe want to try some different wines or beers and want to
Yeah.
try something different.
They so I don't know if I've mentioned it on this channel, but I have a whole rant about whether or not wines and beers are vegan, especially when it comes to wines, because of how wines are made. Mm-hmm. And that's a whole other thing. But we actually, because we know the people that make the wines at St. Clair
Yeah.
Brown, we actually do know that their wines are vegan
Yeah.
and their beers are vegan, except the ones that are obviously not. Like their honey wheat has actual honey in it.
Yeah.
But the great thing about St. Clair Brown is you could ask and they would bless you.
Thank
You
you.
could ask and they would bless you. You could ask and they
Lena would.
Yeah, and they would actually know.
Yeah.
As opposed to like a lot of wineries where the wine is being made. How do I put this? Well, there are. Somebody might be making the winemaker might be making the wine, and even if the final product is vegan,
Mm-hmm.
to decide which process they were going to use to make the wine, they may have used non-vegan ingredients along the way, even though those ingredients were never actually used for this formulation. So it's like, it's kind of like if a makeup company was making a lipstick and they had 5 different formulas, and one of those formulas used carmine, but then they ended up not using that formula.
Yeah.
They use a different formula that never had carmine in it. And then you say, well, is the company vegan? Are their cosmetics vegan? And you're like, well, technically, yes, what they sell is vegan, but in their process of production, they're using carmine, even though it never makes it onto the shelves and is never sold to a consumer. And then when you consider that, that's if you're even able to find that out, right? Like,
Yeah.
so with a lot of wineries, there's not really an answer, or it's not really clear. And
Or it changes batch to batch, kind of.
yeah, exactly. So, in my opinion, there's really no way of, well, there's like one way of actually knowing. If the winery is specifically like, we are a vegan winery,
Yeah.
which is like probably
So
one or
rare.
2 in the world, or if you can actually talk to the person who makes the wines and ask them, because other than the person actually making it, from my experience, nobody else has any idea what's actually going on.
No, there are so many times where I've been told, like, oh, yeah, this doesn't have any of that stuff in it. And then
Even by the owner of the company.
yeah. And then I've gotten sick and reached out and been like, hey, I had an allergic reaction, just wanted to double check. And they're like, oh, yeah, there's dairy in that. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
we
what?
talked to our, like this happened recently. They talked to their head brewer, and their head brewer had even decided to change the recipe unbeknownst to the owner of the company.
Yeah.
So I just, as far as I'm concerned, there's no real way of ever knowing. Like, even when it's blatantly obvious. Like sometimes, I guess that's my point. Sometimes it's blatantly obvious when it's not.
Yeah.
But it's not obvious when it is.
Yeah.
And even what people tell you, there's basically no way to know for sure.
Yeah, it's an area where you kind of just have to do your best and hope that they disclose and are aware of things, even if it's just for allergen reasons. I think that's why a lot of wineries and breweries are becoming more aware, is because of allergies.
Yeah.
But you kind of just have to hope for the best with some of the bigger ones or avoid them.
Yeah. We're not here to tell you what to do.
No, we're not here to tell you what to do.
Have some information.
Yeah, but definitely, I think it's an area too where if you are concerned about it, reach out and let those brands know. Let them know. Be like, hey, I, only consume vegan alcohol. Here's what that means, because most of them don't know what it means.
Hold on, there's someone at the door. Anyway, where were we?
So talking about wines. Oh yeah, how let like wineries and breweries know that stuff matters to you, but tell them why and tell them what ingredients it could be, because most of them they honestly don't know what it means.
Yeah.
Or they think, like, I've had companies that say, oh yeah, our wines are vegan. Well, we do use gelatin, but it's during the fining process and then it's removed, so it's not in the wine that you're drinking, so it's vegan. But I just think it's good to let them know that people want to know this stuff and they should be aware, and they should just disclose that information, because if that's what they're choosing to do, they should stand by it. It's how I feel about brands with animal testing. Like, if you're choosing to do that, just admit to it, just stand by it, and let people decide what works for them. And don't try and decide for them as the brand.
Yeah, I also think that alcohol should be labeled with ingredients.
It totally should. There's so much wacky stuff in it. This is why Hardy should be on the podcast. There's a bunch of wacky stuff.
Yep.
So we won't get into that now.
Okay.
Unless you want to.
I don't.
But yeah, that's what I figured.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. What's up? What else is up?
I don't know. I've been looking at houses a lot, and so I have some little interesting things I've noticed about different houses.
Lay them on us.
Well, so a lot of them are for sale by owner, and so I don't expect them to be like staged houses. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them are staged, and just some of the decisions that they make in the staging process are very fascinating to me. There was one, I sent screen caps of it to Rianne, but the kitchen, for whatever reason, had grapevine wallpaper up. And so they decorated the kitchen with...
What's grapevine wallpaper?
It was like a row... so it was, the pattern of the wallpaper was like every 6 inches to a foot of a vine with grape leaves on it. And that was what was in the entire kitchen. All the walls.
Was it cool looking?
No. It looked like Olive Garden wallpaper, basically. Like, it's something you would see at a restaurant like the Olive Garden. And whoever staged the house, which I don't know if it was the owners or not, had decorated the kitchen with plastic grapes here and there. So there's like a basket of plastic grapes. There was like a shelf that had been put in over the wallpaper that had like plastic grapes on it, and like a bottle of oil and vinegar. Like, it looked like an 80s Italian restaurant. Like, it was weird.
Wow.
So it's been a fun adventure to see some of this stuff, and then to try and envision, okay, what would this kitchen look like without all that wallpaper? What would it look like without the plastic grapes?
Yeah.
Or there was one where right in the entryway they had put this, it might have been the same house actually, I think it was. They had put this thing, it's like they couldn't decide, do we put a chair? Do we put a bench? What do we do? So they put this little tiny bench thing that looked like a child's desk, and it had a cushion on it and like a box of tissues. And then there was an empty, like totally blank chalkboard up above it. And I was like, this is a very odd choice for...
You don't think they were just doing homeschooling for their single child?
Maybe, I don't know. But it was just like, huh. And then I'm fascinated too by the people who are listing it themselves, who don't seem to do any cleaning before they take the photos. Like no tidying, no cleaning. And so it's like... You're looking and they're like, there's literally a pile of laundry on the floor. Like, what? How? What?
Maybe they figure it'll let you really envision what the house will look like when you live there.
Maybe. It's really funny, though. And it's been an enjoyable process to look at. Or some of the cosmetic upgrades people do and don't do. Like there was another one I looked at where I think the house had last been decorated, including appliances, which came with the house in like the 70s. And so it was all very, very dated. But they had recently installed an in-ground pool. So that was the whole highlight of the house, was you get this in-ground pool. And I was like, why? Like, no judgment on making that decision. I get wanting a pool at your house. But it was just so fascinating that, like, that was an upgrade they did and were really selling the house on, but they didn't update the kitchen. Like, it's just fascinating to see people's different priorities and how they live their lives in these homes and things like that, and how you see it truly in the photos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been an interesting process to see that stuff. And it kind of enjoyable. Some of it's really weird, but I like it. It's fun. It's fun to look at these houses and picture what life there would be like or has been like.
Yeah. Yeah. It is fun.
It is fun. Yeah. I like it.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Me too. I have a few that I saw this morning to show you.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I will definitely love to take a look at those on my own. Separately, though, I am taking a break.
Yeah. You spent a lot of time yesterday looking at houses.
Yeah, just the last couple days, and I'm just feeling burnt out. But, actually, you know what? One thing I am excited to do in regard to all that is our friend Meg from St. Clair Brown.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw her tweet.
No.
I think you're going to love it. It involves a list. She was like, maybe what you guys should do.
I like how you say I'll love it because it involves a list. Probably true. Is it a check mark list?
It could be.
Okay. I prefer that to crossing things off, just so we're all clear.
Okay. Well, that's... I don't know that really changes the list much.
Okay. Just personal preference.
Yes, you could put a box next to the thing on the list. You could put a circle if you wanted.
No, boxes. I don't like circled checklists.
Okay.
They're not my preferred. Anyway, go ahead.
Because you feel like you have to fill them in perfectly and then it feels like a standardized test?
No, in order for the circle to be the appropriate, no. I don't like how they look next to handwritten things. Your weight on everything is much more measured. Your spacing is I don't like it.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know. That's okay.
Okay.
Go ahead. Sorry. A list. A checkbox list.
So how do you feel about people who have a checkbox list and then instead of checking the box, they cross it off?
I'm okay with crossing it off overall. Yeah, crossing it off's fine.
I thought you just said you didn't want it to be crossed off.
No, like where you just put a line through it.
Right.
I don't like that. Oh, you mean they have a checkbox and they put
they
who
just
would do this?
Disregard the checkbox and just cross it out.
Do you do this? Is this something I've never known about you?
Well, you've never known how I do lists because I've never made a list. That's not true. I make lists all the time.
You do. I don't like that. That is chaotic and messy. Why would you make that decision? You just want to cause chaos in the world. Measured chaos. I don't trust you.
Wow, this escalated. Okay, so we have an answer to that.
Yeah. No.
The answer is no. I don't remember what I was saying.
You were talking about Meg's tweet about creating a list.
Yes. Yes. What I was saying was that she suggested we make a list of all the states in the United States, and then we check off. She may have said cross out, but check off, whatever. And each state as we decide that it's not going to work for us.
I like that.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting way to see what regions we're really focusing on too.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. And I think that even just given the little research that we've done so far, we can start checking them.
Oh, yeah. Major chunks.
I mean, especially places, the two not in the continental U.S.,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hawaii.
We're not doing Hawaii or Alaska. Yeah. Yeah. I like that idea. That could be interesting to do. Yeah.
Okay,
let's do it.
All right, great.
Okay.
Start that today.
You will?
I said,
I will. We will. Bagheera will.
Sure. he doesn't look like he's going to be doing much of anything. I like that he just refused to move when I had to open the front door.
You
What's that all
scooted
about?
him. He's very grumpy. He was very mad at me yesterday for giving him his pill. He hissed at me after, and then he refused to eat his dinner and hid from me. He's just not. He's not
guy.
in a good mood.
No. He did not enjoy that huge aftershock the other day.
No.
I think that really upset him.
I think so too. And I think because he already has a hard time knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, this seems like as good a place as any to stop.
Okay.
To stop.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Thanks for being here with me today, Tashina Combs.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for being here with me. I wasn't expecting that to be directed at me.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And thank you. What?
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 Go ahead.
What?
You were saying something?
Oh, I was going to say thanks to everyone watching and listening.
Mm-hmm.
Really appreciate you being here as well.
We love you.
Yes.
So much. More than we love each other.